Okay, I think I'm live now. Should be able to hear me now. Let's check my levels here. Audio levels seem to be okay. Let's bring this down a little bit. Okay. It is October 29th, and I am streaming a little bit different way today. And yeah, there's not much I can say. I'm a little flustered right now. Just so much going on these days. And it's been a crazy week of visitors. I'm here in the near the local university here, so we take care of a lot of students, and yeah. So right now, yeah. Okay, let me start over. So my name is Patrick Chang, and this is Everyday Tech for everyday people. And I wanted to go live, and I was supposed to go live at 9:30. Something came up, and now it's 10 o'clock. But anyway, I just wanted to go in here, and I don't know who's going to pop on. We'll see. But today I am going to talk about some new gear that I got. And actually some gear came in even after I assigned or planned to go live here. But the other thing is I wanted to talk about how I'm streaming today, and then which has to do with new gear, and then talk about 400 plus subs. So I'm at 400 plus subs right now, which is amazing. And I never thought I would get there. This was just, first of all, my goal was to get 300 subs by the end of the year, calendar year. And now I'm at 400. And I'm not making any goals as far as subs are concerned, but yeah. And then, so I'm going to talk about that. I'll talk about kind of why I really started the channel, and then my kind of philosophy of it. It's like totally counterintuitive of how I would of what they tell you to do as far as what you should be doing to grow your channel. And I've been doing some of the things that they always suggest you to do, but right now I'm just kind of like, if this works out, this works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So, okay, so first, let's talk about gear here. So I am doing something here differently. I am running, what's going on, Kelly? I am just going live here and just practicing. And I think you might be the only one on here right now, but yeah. So let me talk about new gear that I'm using, and let me switch to this here. So, okay, this looks like my A10 Mini from before, but actually if you look at it a little bit different, for those who don't know, this is an A10 Mini Pro, which means I am going live directly from the A10 Mini Pro here and not through any software. So there's a reason why I got the A10 Mini Pro as opposed to not keeping my old A10. And one of the things I wanted to do was, I really wanted, is the multi-view. So multi-view shows you all the cameras all at once, and that way when you're switching from one camera to another, you can kind of queue up things easier and kind of get a preview of what's going on. So I have my A10, let me go back to here, A10 Mini Pro hooked up to a number of cameras. So this one is going to what you're seeing now on my GoPro here, and then this is my main camera here. But there is a, okay, this one's going to my how do I say it? Chromecast, and then there's something here that's going out to my monitor, external monitor. And so let me show you my external monitor here. This is a cheap external monitor that I got on eBay. It's really for like cars, so, you know, as well. But it really has bad color representation. But as you can see here, this is my main camera here. there's there's this my GoPro that I have live here, and then camera 3 and 4, which are not being used right now. And then you have your graphics here, how long I've been on. You can do recording, local recording, and this shows the actual audio. So yeah, I eventually will probably get a different monitor than this, but it's actually good enough. The color representation of this is not great at all, but yeah, that's been what I've been using lately. And I'm really, really happy with the purchase. So I can actually go on, hook up my phone to it and go live on YouTube through the A10 Mini here if I need to. So why did I get it? Well, I've been doing more church productions, and we have some other things coming up related to that. But okay, so I see Kelly's still joining me here, and I want to see if I can pull up her comments here. I know she's gonna be pretty embarrassed if I did. Nope, that didn't work. Let's see here. Is it Chroma Source, Luma Source? Let's see, Media. I think it's this. 1 second while I try to get this working here. Is that gonna work? Okay, that might work. Okay, so if I click on this, will her comments come up? Yes, super nifty. Okay, thank you. Hi to you too, and I don't mean to embarrass you here, but thanks for joining me. And then I know, okay, no more. I'll take your comments off there. I just wanted to see if I could do it too. Let's see, what other new gear that I have. And Kelly, when you come visit, I'll give you a tour of the actual studio here. But okay, let me. So the other thing I bought was I needed new speakers. Actually, my old ones were kind of dying, or it's really old. It was like 20 years, more than 20 years old. Actually, I inherited it from them. So I decided to get these Amazon Basics speakers, and have a good night too. And I'm not going to put your comment on screen here, but don't worry. So one thing is, I wanted to get these speakers, so I got these Amazon Basic speakers, and they're the bookshelf ones. But part of me I was just like ordering it, and because they were on sale. And what's going on, Robert? How's it going? Good to see you here. So I just to catch you up, Robert, I'm streaming on my A10 Mini Pro, and not from anything else, not like Ecamm or something else. But good to have you here. And so the next piece of gear that I'm going to talk about is my new speakers. So Amazon Basic speakers I got on sale. They were like half off, and so, but I didn't realize. I just realized how big the speakers were. So let me switch to them here. But is it going to show up on camera here? Let's see. Yeah, look how big these speakers are compared to my monitor. It's just I was not expecting these speakers to be so huge. So but they just sound great. And one of the things that I realized is they didn't sound, they had this kind of buzzing sound too. So this buzzing sound of if I wasn't using them, and or when it gets activated too. So and so that's one of the things I wanted to get as new speakers. So I got Toslink optical cables for them. And so let me go back to, I'm not going to show you how the how big the back of the thing, but like these are the speakers here. And after I got the optical cables, they were it was just fine too. So so Robert wants to know, how big are the speakers? I mean this monitor. This is a 35-inch ultra-wide monitor here. So let me cut to it, and you're going to see your own comments here. But this is a 35-inch monoprice monitor. I have a review on it. this is funny. It's actually probably my most popular video here on my channel because there's not many videos on it. Then I don't have this plugged in right now, but this is a portable 13-inch monitor right here. And so that's what I usually have, it's vertical right now, so I usually have my work Slack channel. So it's perfect for it. I can see everything vertically. And I have my newer video light there. I have my, I'm using, okay, so because if you're just joining late, I got the A10 Mini Pro, and I'm streaming from that today, so I don't have everything set up. So one of the hard things about using the A10 Mini Pro is to connect your audio interface to it. And so you need some cables, and it's going from a balanced to an unbalanced input. Anyway, so you need to make sure there's no interference. But I had another event earlier this morning, so I don't have that set up just yet. But yeah, so I'm using my Rode Video Micro Wireless Go. So yeah, so that's the A10 Mini Pro. Just for the multi-view itself is, I think, totally worth the money. Now, this is a portable monitor, very cheap quality monitor I bought on eBay, but it still works. And I can see all my every inputs here. So yeah, so, and then the way, let me just kind of go, one more thing is the way that I have my chat set up here. So if I bring up, let's go back to here. If I bring up John's chat message here, the way I have it running is I'm using the Aaron Parecki plugin, chat plugin. So it's called, I think it's called the chat plugin, YouTube chat overlay plugin. And I'm running it and I'm casting it to my Chromecast actually, which is connected into my A10 Mini as my camera 4 in here. So, and so that's how I am doing the chat overlay today. So, okay, so I'm gonna make this short today, but speaking of, because I see John's here and I hope he's still here, and even Robert, I want to talk about, the last thing I want to talk about is 400 plus subs. And that's just wild to me. That's crazy to me. I can't believe, when I started this channel, I started last year, after doing Lita live every day in August. And I knew I wanted to do a tech channel, and the tech channel is always, it's a busy space, right? And really people like Robert, who's been supporting me, John, who's been blowing up as far as his channel is concerned too. It just makes me want to go further. But the way I wanted to start my channel was this. I wanted just to do a tech channel just for fun and for myself. And that's how you should start a channel. But I wanted to break a lot of the rules. And what I mean by that is, I'm not very, they always say you need to have a niche eventually, or focus on something. My focus is basically tech, but of course not very expensive tech necessarily. We'll see if I ever get to that point where I have more expensive tech. Do I spin off? But I wanted to do something that was like, okay, whatever I wanted to review. And then I never really advertised it too much. I did a Facebook post to my friends, but that never really works, And even I did it on Instagram as well. But then I started doing all these things. I do tech on things like, things like a scanner. I just did a thing on an Epson scanner, right? And so there's a kind of a niche, I guess there's a gap there that no one's doing. And I'm not getting that many views right now, but I'm just trying to get better at production first as well. And I think I like doing just whatever I want as far as in as topics are concerned. So I was, and then I chose a generic name. And I know John and Jeff talked about it before when I brought it up, but everyday tech. And there's, even if you search for everyday tech, I don't know if my channel will ever come up even too. So I guess that'll change more as I do more videos. But if, you know, I've done 40 some videos. So what's going on, Sammy? See, this is another person like, hey Ash, what's going on? Sammy's always, Sammy's everywhere. So Sammy always does everyone. See, does always follows everyone. And then Ash, of course, my favorite supporter here. And then let's see, Jean Claude Boutique, welcome. First time seeing you here. Glad you could be here as well. I'm just talking. I was going over some tech that I just got. And okay, Sammy, this is you're going to be very interested in this as well. Are you using OBS or Ecamm? First, Sammy, let me know what you think of the quality of the stream first, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, let me see. For sure, definitely a lovely name as well. So let me start over and just kind of go through let's go through the basics of my setup first, and then Sammy, I'll answer your question on what I'm streaming from here. But let's see. From Quebec, nice. More Canadians in the house today too. Okay, Sammy, it's not OBS, and I'm going very raw here. So first, let's start with my camera here, as you Canadians have a nice conversation there, okay? Let's see. First, my camera. I hope this comes out on screen a little bit better, but this is my A6500. So it's hard to see, but of course the A6500 doesn't have a flip out screen. So I have this, I think it's a Ulanzi, a little mirror there that I can see myself there. And then my Rode Wireless Go, which I'm using now in this stream, and I'll explain why. I have my ultra wide monitor here. I have my video light there, which is bouncing off the wall here. And then, let's see. So I typically have an audio interface that I don't have hooked in. So to Sammy, to answer your question, what am I using to the stream? I just got an A10 Mini Pro, and I am streaming directly from it. So again, this is a portable 13-inch monitor that I've done a review on my channel before. I don't have it hooked in right now. And yeah, so this is kind of my total setup here. Let me scoot back and show you all here. I have it on. Yeah, so yeah, this is the first time I'm going live directly from the A10 Mini Pro. And then I have my chat stuff going in to, I have it casting to a Chromecast, which is going into one of my inputs. And so that's how you can see some of this. Yeah, well, so I found out there is a way to hook up the audio interface into the A10 Mini Pro. And I had it running through some other wires, and it was giving me a buzzing sound because it's an unbalanced signal coming in out from my audio interface. So then I brought that setup above the desk, and that buzzing went away. So there was a lot of interference there. So next time when I do this setup, I'm going to go directly from an interface but into the A10 Mini Pro. So I think this is what Aaron Parecki does a lot too. So Yeah. Yep. Thanks, Sammy. I appreciate that. Yeah, so as I was saying, I appreciate everyone who's there. This is probably the most I've had as far as a lot of chat is concerned. Maybe I think 10 o'clock might be the better time for me. I know that's a little late for you, John, but and I always love having you here. And John, I still want to join you on your stream sometime if you'll have me, and just let me know and we can talk a lot of stuff. I don't want to talk about online drama though, and I think everyone who knows what I'm talking about, the latest drama, but yeah, but yeah, you're very welcome. And John's always been a supporter for me here, and you know what, Ash, you're right. You know, sometimes I leave them talking, go take a shower, go get ready for bed, come back, and they're still on. And I get it. Sometimes when you start getting in that conversation, it's just like, you just want to keep on hanging out. So, but yeah, it's one of those things. I appreciate everyone who actually subs. As like every time I see my sub count go up a little bit, I'm like, wow. I can't, like, wow. Like I remember I told my wife, like, yeah, there's like 300 people subscribing to me, and she's like, who watches your channel? Obviously she doesn't, but like, and now I'm at 400, and I'm just enjoying this kind of slow trajectory that I'm going to, and I'm hoping to do more things. So I'm going to end in about 7 minutes until about 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the US, but let me just talk about what's coming up. I think I'm going get that one. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I'm gonna force her. She really doesn't like being on camera too, so thank you, Ash. And again, I'd say all of you who are joining me today and all of you who've been supporting me, this is the reason why I do it too. And I feel like it's really getting me out of like my comfort zone. That's kind of why I do these live streams actually. So a lot of my content is not really live, it's not geared for live necessarily, because I do long, term long-term review type things, right? And thank you, Robert, for joining me as always too. But okay, it's a deal, and let's not let my wife know that we're gonna put her on camera too. So anyway, but yeah, I'm just always, my content is always like long formed, and that's kind of like one of the things I wanted to do actually, is do some setup reviews on not necessarily always the latest and greatest stuff, because if I do Apple stuff, that always gets a lot of views right away, right? Apple stuff always spikes up. So if I did all Apple stuff, but of course I can't buy all Apple stuff as well. I could talk Apple stuff maybe. And I know there's another channel that I was following. She had a Mac Mini and she got it early, but she spent like just the next 6 months just talking about that one Mac Mini, and she has like, she skyrocketed as far as her views are concerned. But I wanted to do stuff that I wanted to start doing reviews on tech that are kind of like bargain stuff too, because that's what people like. So for example, this monitor right here, and this monoprice 35-inch monitor, when I was purchasing it, there wasn't many reviews on it, and so that's kind of what I wanted to do, is do reviews on these things. And it's paid off with this kind of review. I see my Epson scanner here is starting to get a little bit more traction. So people are searching for these kind of things where they can't find it anywhere else, right? And so these are the kind of videos I want to do, as well as the stuff that I have. So basically my thing is I want to do reviews on anything I have. And the latest is this A10 Mini Pro. I mean, it came out over a year and a half ago, but like now it's new to me, so I'm gonna do it. And I think people want to see it based on because they can relate to me in a certain way, right? And I agree, John. I love streaming in the sense that I like connecting with everyone here too. And if you know, one of my favorite channels is lon.tv, and sometimes he does a lot of live streams. He does live streams, but he's doing stuff of the he's live streaming his part of his recording of his main content. So if he's doing like benchmark testing, he'll just live stream it, right? So let's see, run on a Mac Mini 2012. It's the first time I looked to buy a new Mac Mini. You know, I think I had either I bought my mom that same one, and I would say like I really wanted to get the M1 Mac Mini, and I have my, that's right, I'm running on an M1 Mac Mini right now, 16 gigabytes and a 512 gigabyte of SSD, and it's been the best purchase ever. I think it's the best M1 Mac for sure. I am getting an MacBook Air, M1 MacBook Air from work in a couple weeks. I'm not gonna wait for the M1X or something like that. Anyway, but yeah, I think it's a great purchase. It makes me like, even when I want to get even another one. I'm gonna put one in our living room if we're starting to do more of this, if more hybrid things, because I do a lot of church events, do a lot of family events. I just want to have a Mac Mini in the living room with a camera set up there too, for all these calls. And so, yeah, the Air is, I would get the Air over the Pro, and you'll rarely need the Pro, I think. I think the Air is probably the best laptop as far as value for a laptop. Now, if you're not on the Mac side, I'm not sure what I would recommend, but yeah, I mean, you definitely have to be all in on the Mac side for sure, but yeah. Are you using the, yeah, there's a lot, I would say, yeah, the M1, I mean the ATM for sure. I think it's still a little pricey for most people, I would say. I got it on eBay for about, I would say 400, and yeah, it's one. Most people are on Zoom, so you can't necessarily. You have to use it as the regular ATEM works perfectly for Zoom, but if I'm streaming like this, I think this is a great way to do it, especially on the go. But this is not the most portable thing. So it was so weird with the M1s too. Software was not an issue. Even things running on Rosetta 2 seemed to be like perfect, like faster even than in the Intels. I am all M1. I mean, I'm all Mac, right? But I'm not religious about it too. So I think Macs are better, but they're better for my personal use, right? And PCs are good for your particular use. But I've had both, so I can for my personal taste, and I guess for my uses actually as a programmer, as a videographer or photographer, I would say, they're perfect for my use. So I think they're a great thing. And then back to this comment about Lon. He's been around for a while, and so I love his way of doing things. Just very simple and but he's been growing, and he's talked about his growth and how it's taken a while. And really, I'm doing this for fun right now. I'm hoping to make some money on the side with this, but as I go on, I'm just gonna go like, you know, all in, and for sure, I think, but I think productivity itself is how you make it, and I would say, even on a PC, how you can be as productive as you want, depending on your technique. So for me, one of the things that makes me most productive is I try not to use my mouse as much as possible, and everything is keyboard shortcuts. The keyboard is always faster than the mouse. And so if you know all these different shortcuts, you can be very productive, both on a PC and even moving windows around my screen. The piece there's shortcuts to do it, right? So, but I would say, no doubt, the Apple products are the worst as far as true gaming is concerned. Now, cloud gaming is starting to take some shape, but I would say, and I have used like the NVIDIA cloud gaming service because it's free to try or free to use, and that's been like perfectly good for me. But as far as gaming is concerned, you definitely have to go PC for sure. So I know I said I was going 10:30, it's past 10:30. Let me just again bring up what I'm planning to do for this week, and I'm hoping to get ahead of the game in the sense of I'm going to try to produce two videos and release one a week to get a little bit more of a queue going, so I don't feel as pressured. But right now I'm like got to do a video and release it that week time frame. It's just been hectic this past week. I'm surprised I actually did it. So, but this week I'm finally getting into my Notion videos. So I'm gonna do an introduction to Notion and just getting started with Notion. Not necessarily a tutorial necessarily, but just kind of getting started. And how I know John's talked about getting into Notion. Jeff's really big on Notion, but how you can really use Notion to get just anything in your life, really, whether professionally, streaming wise. And I'll talk about how I use it for streaming and how you can just kind of get as deep into it as well. So yeah, the Notion. And then one of my more recent popular videos that I did was on my Notion API call, and I called that Not So Everyday Tech. So I thought that was a good way to spin it off, because I was always touting myself as everyday tech being for everyday people, but I realized I'm also a nerd at heart, or a programmer at heart too, and I want to do more complicated things, but I don't want to necessarily spin off the channel because I just started. So I started this series of Not So Everyday Tech. So I'm going to do an update on a Notion API, my WordPress Notion API plugin. So if that doesn't interest you, that's fine. But I think you can learn something from it as well. So so those are the next two videos coming up, and then I will eventually do an A10 Mini Pro review update. Let's see, my speakers, these Amazon bookshelf speakers, I'll do it. And well, let me pull up my Notion here. I'm not set up to share the screen, but let me see what's on. Okay. And then there's two things that I wanted to bring up that are really boring, could be boring topics, but I think very helpful. It's going to be, okay, before I go on, I need to say hi to Mr. Doma Gaming, who's another big supporter, always, of the channel. And so I know it's late there probably, or early morning, I forget. Let me know what time it is over there, Mr. Doma. But hello, my brother there in another country. Let's see. I wanted to do something on USB-C. Not the most exciting, but if you don't know what USB-C or USB-C, you know what USB-C is, it's the connector, but the standard itself is very confusing. And I'm a big fan of USB-C, but there's so many things out there that are called USB-C. So yeah, so I'm gonna do just kind of try to go through the confusion that is USB-C. Okay, so that's not going to be the most exciting thing, but the other thing that I want to talk about is that's a very traditionally a kind of a DIY type of thing is this guy. This is a Raspberry Pi. This is my Raspberry Pi 3, but when I was in California for a month, I had my Raspberry Pi hooked up in my office here, and I had it as a VPN server, so virtual private network. So I could just log into my home network here, grab any files I needed to. Even I could run my whole production from remotely, but from this office, and do it. You know, so. And then the last thing, let's see, the last thing that's coming in the next couple of weeks as far as reviews is this guy. Speaking of M1s, this is my M1 11-inch MacBook Pro. And yes, I will talk about, can you use this as a normal computer? And can you use it for live streaming? And I did a live streaming, of course, from California with this M1 Mac, iPad, M1 iPad. And the other thing I'm going to do is, I do web development, so can you program and do those kind of jobs from an M1 Mac? And of course the obvious answer is yes, but how to do it or how to make it the most productive is what I'm going to go to. So let's see. I just found Thunderbolt came on, and I'm surprised that Thunderbolt hasn't been more on every laptop. And I guess that's a cost thing too. So there's a reason why some Macs are more, why Macs in general, they tend to have some more things. But yeah, but I think the Thunderbolt standard is great. And Thunderbolt, remember, uses USB-C. And the USB-C Thunderbolt standard for sure is totally versatile, and you can do so many things on there too. So I think you're talking about that Legion 5. Yeah, I actually looked into that, trying to get it, but I couldn't justify getting another computer, and just kind of got myself to buying a PC, which I haven't done in years. So yeah, I don't even have a PC even for work anymore, even though we're moving. Most of my colleagues have PCs, so I'm happy that they did that. So let's see, it's almost 10:40, 10 minutes past of what I said I was going to do, but yeah, I should have turned on the fan here. I'm sweating here. But basically in the past 2 weeks, I've had to move my office up and down from the basement because we had different visitors. But yeah, so now I should be settled in here. So let's see. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I just don't know. It's a cost thing, I think, for sure. You know, it's 10:40, and I will stop watching the clock. You know, even though it's 10:40. Okay, I'm stopping watching the clock. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to as far as that's concerned. But as far as Thunderbolt is concerned, it's just so many things you can plug into it with one connector without slowing down the bus as well. So, Ashley, it's 10:41 right now, so just want to let you know. Anyway, I really am going to stop because I have stuff. I work tomorrow and I have some stuff, other things I need to prepare. So again, 400 plus subscribers, and this one's for Ashley, and I just thank everyone again for just I really am just like blown away every time I get a sub, and I was like, oh, another one, right? So anyway, thank you for joining me. I think this is a better time for me as far as doing it late, so thank you, Mr. Doma, also for being one of my probably earlier subscribers as well too. So like, yeah, I'm hoping to get more and I just slowly grow, but just be myself, not worry too much about the numbers too. Man, I keep on looking at those numbers, and it's hard not to, but I find it more entertaining or more educational. Entertaining, I don't know if it's entertaining, but educational of what's working and just kind of observing how YouTube is working. So again, like this monitor right here, the other day was like getting like, I look at the past 48 hours and it was getting like 2 or 300 reviews or views. I was like, is there another sale or something? Because that's when it usually spikes, but it does bring up my numbers a little bit. So yeah, thank you very much. I don't think of myself as the most creative necessarily, but I think I'm getting there. And I don't know if you saw my last review on the Epson. I just did this, like started putting music into that B-roll, and I was like, okay, next time I'm gonna do more of that B-roll. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So okay, Ashley, it's 10:43. That means I'm gonna go. So thank you all for joining me. I know I said bye, but I'm gonna say bye for reals, and I will see you all next week. I'm gonna say 10 p.m. now because it just kind of works better for me. So see you, John. See you, Ash. See you, Doma. See you, everyone. Gene, everyone that joined me today. Thank you for joining me. So anyway, see you all later, and I'm gonna fade to black. So see ya.